What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy King 053, Mr. Easy Money, covering trending topics from local to abroad. Politics, I'm asking the questions: who's fooling who? Sports, from soccer, boxing, and MMA, I cover it all. Monthly motivational talks to inspire you. One thing for sure, I bring the receipts. So like and subscribe to be part of the movement. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy King 053, Mr. Easy Imali Enengi Nengi, and thank you guys for tuning in on my channel. I want to speak quickly about the BBC interview of Mr. Malema, and he said some quite interesting things, some which was him covering the old things that he's always been saying, but there's some things that if you didn't watch the interview, I would like to highlight for you. It's only 5 points and I'm out. So the first point is what he said about the national shutdown. So let's just quickly hear what Mr. Malema said about the shutdown.
On March 20th, you declared a national shutdown. You tried to shut down the entire economy in the midst of this power crisis. Is that responsible?
That is the most responsible thing to do. Do you want me to fold my hands? Do you want me to not do anything? What will history say about me? I'm going to be asked a question, not by you, by the future generation, as to what have you done when South Africa was in a crisis. The most logical thing to do is for the president to resign. Was it in Britain where we saw prime ministers in a short space of time resigning one after another because they realized they were not about to carry the national agenda? The president is not carrying the national agenda. We need a government of national unity constituted by all of us who are not driven by political party interest, but the interest of South Africa to resolve this immediate crisis, which will affect all aspects of our lives.
Yes. So one thing I respect about Mr. Malema, he's not a sit back and watch person. What he said is very important. The generation, the coming generation will be asking the current leaders, what did you do about the ESCOM issue? What did you do when you are not happy about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 issues? You understand? And you can't be a leader and say, well, we were not the ruling party, so we just sat and did nothing. It is very impressive that the EFF placed itself on a position. I told you guys, the national shutdown was not only about ESCOM and shutting down the call for Mr. Ramaphosa to step down and all that. No, it was a political position that the EFF was putting itself to say, listen, we want to be in the minds of the people. We want to make a mark for in history that we stood up and did something. It might not have impacted as much as they would have liked it to be in terms of the shutdown, because it's true, some industries were functioning, understand, but not as normal. It wasn't a normal day. So I like that about Mr. Malema. I like that the what you call the national shutdown was there, and it was a point. That's why I'm saying to guys like Duduzane Zuma and Nhlanhla Lux, don't sit down and just wait for next year's election. Do something. There's a lot of problems in South Africa: unemployment, crime in whatever location, township. There's something that you can do. But let's listen also to what Malema said about the total shutdown of the grid, the ESCOM grid.
You say. You also said at the time of the national shutdown, this shutdown is the beginning of a revolution. No one can stop it. No army can stop it. No police can stop it. Some of your members put out videos threatening to beat up teachers and police if they went to work. One even threatened to beat up pupils if they went to school. And you talk to me about national unity?
But that video of a person who was threatening to beat up pupils if they go to school is an old video. I think hardTalk should have done its research to now realize that video has been resurfaced to support a certain narrative. There's no such a thing. I'm telling you, there's going to be a revolution. Let the grid collapse and let's see what's going to happen.
Let the grid collapse.
I'm saying to you.
How do you think South Africans are going to feel hearing
No,
you
I'm
say
saying-
that?
I'm
People
saying-
who are losing their jobs,
No,
people who have no income,
you're
and you just say,
misinterpreting me. You are misinterpreting me. I'm saying to you, let the grid collapse as it is going to happen and see what's going to happen in this country. I'm not wishing it. I'm saying it's going to happen. And you will see what's going to happen. Do you think that once the grid collapse, people are going to exchange roses with government? People are going to rise. And when they rise, there will not be any leader who will be leading them. There will be leaderless, there will be anarchy, there will be looting all over this country because nothing will be working.
Guys, when it comes to ESCOM shutting down completely, stage 8, where we'll have electricity for 12 hours a day, and depending on how the situation goes, it might be worse. I'm very scared of that. You know, maybe scared is not the right word, but very concerned to say what will happen in our townships if electricity goes for 3 days in a row in the township and businesses are closed, families are locked in their house. Um, uh, you can't call the police because your cell phone is low. There is gender-based violence. There is crime in general, and people going and breaking into other people's shops, and the looting starting to unfold slowly but surely. I'm very concerned about that. And for me, what Malema was saying is quite right to say, listen, if the grid shuts down beyond stage 8, which is stage 16, I think they proposed, and it's going to be a scary point, and it's a point where I am not seeing the sense of agency in our ruling party. I don't see them pulling in Russia and China to say, guys, how can you help us? How much do we need to give you guys to help us solve this ESCOM problem? China can assist us with big machineries. We can take trillions of loans from China, and our ESCOM issue will be sorted. For the sake of the people, for the sake of the economy, we need electricity. But I don't see the sense of agency in our leaders. And the other reason where there is no sense of agency is because our leaders know that we don't have an electricity problem in South Africa. We have a management problem where the power stations are not managed properly, and as a result they are breaking down and all of that. Yes, they are old, I agree, but even in their oldest, Andre the Rita was supposed to at least stabilize and not break them down even further. So for me, Malema was quite correct in saying that it is a big concern for me. Let's hear what Mr. Malema said about Russia and his stance in terms of the Ukraine versus Russia war.
South Africa right now calls itself non-aligned.
In the context of the war, but these are two different things. South Africa is an ally of Russia. Now, the second question is, where does South Africa stand on the war? It says I'm a non-aligned in relation to war, but Russia remains South Africa's friend. So we cannot create confusion around there. Don't create an impression that it is Malema who's going to come and create an alliance with Russia.
But there are some very specific...
Actually, I will
go
beyond that. I will go beyond the friendship with Russia, and in the war, I will align with Russia, and I will even supply the weapons to Russia.
Yeah, now Julius Malema saying that he will arm and give Russia weapons is one of the reasons why I respect Malema, and another reason why I respected leaders like Jacob Zuma. You will never find Jacob Zuma sitting on a fence on a critical issue like war of two countries. You will never hear him just sitting down and trying to being diplomatic in his answers, just like Julius Malema is doing. He's saying, listen, I stand with Russia. In fact, even in my standing with Russia, I would have armed Russia. Very dangerous stance, because we're going to get backlash from the other countries, especially the United States and the United Kingdom. But he's saying that without any fear or favor. And that's what we want from a president. But we have a president and a party in the ANC that is refusing to voice out their stance, and they keep on sitting on that neutral stance, and that is why problems are not solved, because you know who the problem is in your party, but because of you don't want to start fights and everything, you remain neutral in saying comrades, as long as they are in your faction, you don't take them head on. That is the problem that is happening right now. So I agree with Mr. Malema. If you're standing with Russia, then support Russia. Don't be, a spaghetti spine when it comes to a serious issue like this. This is where we need to know where our country stands. Also in things like homophobia and all of that, make a stance. Other countries are making a stance, say, listen, we don't support that, we are just, yes, human rights, we are becoming a banana republic because of leaders that cannot take a stand. So let's just hear also what he said when we speak about taking a stand, what Mr. Malema said about the non-negotiables that he put in forward when it comes to collusion government for 2024.
Africa. We are not going into coalition for positions. We are going to say anyone who wants to work with us, and we've said this before, and that's why we're not working with anyone in the local governments. If you want to work with us, you are going to expropriate land without compensation. You are going to nationalize the mines. You are going to establish a state-owned bank. You are going to make sure that we fight crime, fire by fire, to make this country a safer place. Those are just but minimal, non-negotiable points that will engage with anyone who wants to work with us.
All of that,
non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. On that basis, it's hard to imagine you can make a coalition with anyone.
ANC was more than willing.
Now, when he says the non-negotiables are, they need the land back, they need a state-owned bank, they need to privatize the mines, and what else? Fight crime. It's very good. For me, when he said that, then I saw very clearly why the DA says they are never ever going to work with the EFF, and putting EFF even above the ANC, saying EFF is the public enemy number one, that voting for the EFF will bring a downfall to this country. The DA is saying that. So the reason why they're saying that is because of this land issue. Secondly, is about putting the mines, nationalizing the mines. That is the problem. The DA does not want to hear that. Why? Because they want the freedom of private sector. Private sector has got power, guys. The DA is saying, listen, we want a non-racialism and non-discriminative government, where when a tender is open, then anyone can, bid for that tender. But me and you say, if that tender is for a street, and a small company, a small black-owned company, has only built 10 kilometers of a street tire road, for example, will never win against a white-owned company that bids, and they have done hundreds and thousands of kilometers. The white-owned company will always get the what you call the tenders, because they've got the history of funding and the track record of building tire roads. This new one, even though they build quality tire roads, they will never win. That's why we're saying, when you put in a tender, or when you put in a request for you're looking for employers or whatever, you have to take the geographic area, demographics and everything, and the history of that place and the people that are staying there in consideration when you're doing that. So for me, So for me, it was nice to see Mr. Malema making a stance to say, listen, these are the non-negotiables. The other stuff we can bend. So when he said that, I knew immediately that it in my early 2024 prediction is that the ANC is going to go into collusion with the EFF. I see probably a EFF deputy president, whether it be Mr. Malema or someone else. And then I see at the end the ANC slowly crumbling and falling into the EFF's hands. And I see we might get this economical freedom that we're talking about in our in our lifetime. So let's hear the last point that I wanted to speak about, where Mr. Malema, the interviewer asked him, what is your opposition about white people that say they fear Malema?
You know there are some South Africans, and let us be blunt, many white South Africans who fear Julius Malema. Some of them have said to me, if Malema gets to power or close to power, I will leave this country. Do you welcome their fear, or do you want to find ways to overcome their fear?
I don't welcome their fear. Stephen, they said that about Mandela, the most celebrated Mandela. You're talking about me. They said if Mandela, a prisoner, becomes the president, who will live in this country, and they left. I was in the Val River the other day, looking at some of the houses that whites abandoned in 1994 when Mandela became a president. They are not scared of Julius Malema. They are scared of an independent black man who's not controlled by any white person, who's not controlled by London.
Yes, so you hear that the answer is very clear. There are white people that left when Nelson Mandela left. So Nelson Mandela was the poster guy, understand? Celebrated more by white people than black people. When the years ended, because black people started waking up saying, but this freedom that we got, it's not benefiting us with anything. And the white people saw that, but this giving away of the government is still benefiting us as white people. So there were still those pure white racists that were saying, listen, we are going to leave this country. And they left. When Thabo Mbeki came, they also left. When Zuma came, they were so angry, they left in numbers. In Zuma, you had the biggest numbers of people leaving South Africa. And they were still living even now recently with Ramaphosa, where I saw not a document, a program in ENCA where they were showing people leaving to Canada and Australia and so on. And they are coming back in numbers. They are coming back because home is home. Understand? And we don't want to see ourselves in a country where it's only black people, there's no Indians, there's no whites, there's no, we don't want it. But we want to live in harmony, and we want you to respect me as a black man as much as you respect yourself as a white man. That's all. A wise man once said, white people has to be happy that black people want equality and not revenge. A wise man once said that we want equality but not revenge, because if we wanted revenge, it would have been far worse than this little equality that we are demanding from them. It's your boy King053. You guys tell me what you think. Do you think the interview was nice? Did you like it? If you want to watch it in its entirety, you can go watch it. It's only about 28 minutes. So I just wanted to cut the most important things that I took away personally from that interview. Until next time, please guys, if you like the content on the channel, subscribe, like, so that other people can see it. But most important, leave your thoughts on the comment section so I can know what is going on. Other people are calling me a Julius. It's been long since I did a video about Julius Malema. Anyway, others are saying I'm a Julius Malema puppet, the EFF a spy, whatever. I don't know. Whatever you call me, it's good, because I would rather, honestly speaking with you guys, I told you guys many times, I'm not affiliated with any political party, meaning I myself, since I was born till today. I've never taken a membership of any political party. I've participated and championed some ANC programs when I was young because I grew up as an ANC follower and an ANC. My sister was a counselor and all of that, so I grew up in ANC, but I've never actually took membership. I wonder why not, but that's how things turned out to be. So I was a person who loved the ANC so much up until the Zuma days, still championing for ANC, still voting for the ANC until Ramaphosa took over. And then I was like, no, I need an alternative. So if you're going to accuse me of being a puppet for Julius Malema, it's fine for me. Why? Because the enemy of black people hates Malema. And they don't hate any other black politician. They hate Malema. So I'm happy to be called a puppet because that means the enemy hates me too. It's your boy, King 053, Mr. Easy Money. Until next time, please don't forget to pray. Salute.